Hey, what's up? Hope everyone's just doing good. And for the starter, as a starter, we will be drawing UG. So let's get this going. I'll try to make this real simple and see how that goes. Though any of the simplest things don't work out for me, still we'll give it a try. This pencil is too light, as whoever ran into issues right from the beginning. So let's work with this. Why not? It's a tiny pencil, but it will do. So this is the part where we'll be doing head. Draw a circular thing, and at this edge we'll end all the hair of the topmost hair. Drawing that composition, not worrying about the details, but just trying to get everything in proportion. Alright, so this looks fine. Let's give him a front hairline, and this is where his ear should come. So let's mark that part, and let's put this trail of hair again at this very end. Alright, so let's give him his front, what's it called, fringe. Just giving these tiny details, and I think this will do. Whatever looks really bad will come to it. No worries. Just a second, let me see if you guys can see the drawing. I think you can, but it's like really light. So, alright. Oh, let's give him his eyebrow. That places his eyebrow. Let's give him his nose bridge, and where his nose would end, and where his lips would come. And let's give him a tiny bit of eye. Nothing detailed, we're just pointing, fixing the position of each and everything on his face. Another curve for his eye. This looks fine and promising, so let's put his eyebrow in place. Just a slash would define his eyebrow. Tiny shade. Let's give him these silly wrinkles to give him his expression a little more intensity. And give him his other eyebrow, just a slash, thickening it at one end. And we can give him a tiny line to define his nose, just a little bit, and shade right below his nose. Let's give him his lower eyelid a little curve, and a little curve here. Right. Let's give him his sideburns. His ear would come here and go till about here. Hey, Mary Wabel, Mary, hello, Mary Wabel, what is up, dude? How you doing? What is up? Thank you for joining. All right, let's give him his cornea. It's a tiny curve. Just a tiny curve here. All right, let's shape this part so that it doesn't look like a mustache. Now give him his structure for his face. This looks fine. It's just that his nose part looks kind of, makes him look like a cat. So let's just erase that a bit. Alright, let's put his nose in place again. This time we will try to do it with a lighter stroke. This looks way better. Let's give him a line to define his lips. This line looks fine. And a little stroke to define his lower lip. That looks promising. Let's give him his jaw, a diagonal slash. And this should be a little parallel to this point. Let's give him the sharp jaw and join it with his chin. Let's give his upper eyes a little shade, tiny little shade. Oops, my bad, I didn't see the clock. I should put a timer because I want to do everything in like 6 minutes. So we have been in about this for 5 minutes. We have lost the case. You can't do this in 6 minutes. Do we have any requests? Yeah, that is UG. Hey, gangrene, no, I'm sorry about that. Dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at calling these screen names. All right, let's quickly, since there are people over here, we want to take some requests. Let's quickly draw. And I was trying to focus on the figure. So let's draw the figure first. I will take the longer pencil to draw the figure first. So that's his hoodie. We're just fixing everything on this drawing at this point now. From over here, we will put his hand. So not drawing the detail right now. I'll come to the detail part in a bit. Just figuring out. All right, this looks fine as his fist. Let's put this line to define his shirt, his jacket, coat. And right over here is his big ass punch. Let's draw this first. I really want to draw it. So let's draw this hand. It's his fist. First line will define the first finger. That's the knuckle. We are not laying down any, what's it called? I hope you can see the drawing yet. We are not laying out any sort of structure, marks. We're just drawing. So when you're doing that, you just need to be careful about what you're doing, what you're drawing, and how big is it in your drawing compared to the other parts of the body. So that's his middle finger. So this knuckle should come here. Was a mistake. Let me quickly fix this. That's the third knuckle, and this knuckle will have sort of a shade. This line will go deeper. This will be his third finger and his second knuckle of the third finger. Let's make it darker. Let's bring this line upward to define the edge of his pinky. And that's his pinky. And that's the little fold over skin and the fourth knuckle. So we have made this fist look all right. Let's put a tiny amount of detail. And let's put a thumb so that it looks like a fist, right? So the thumb will come here, a little bend. Let's make this curve outwards. And let's put a little line to define his nail. I think that's enough. We are not doing any detail at this point. Let's fetch this fist a little further away. What's up? Hey, Zubert. What's up, dude? Thank you for being here. All right, so we are defining his hand, which is kind of big because it's foreshortening. It's coming right towards the camera. So we have made it a little bigger. Let's take this hand towards the back. That's his sleeve. That's the fold in his sleeve. That's the fold in his sleeve. Another fold, and this is where we will join his armpit to his jacket, like the sleeve to his jacket. And let's draw this line to define his shoulder, and this line to define the shoulder and his back. So make this line darker, darker, darker. And let's bring this, oh sorry, I chipped the nip. I'm sorry. I think you can see it, right? So yeah, let's join this, and to define that this is foreshortening, we'll make this shadow kind of smaller and kind of growing as it comes towards the edge of the sleeve. So let's darken, 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 darken. That looks fine. Let's get to the other part. We'll darken this part entirely. We'll darken this line to define the edge of his hoodie. Darken the edge. Alright, this looks promising enough. Let's draw his jacket, the front flap of his jacket. There's a button over here. And we'll darken this part because it's the front. Let's darken this part, make a dark line. Make a dark line here. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. I'm just trying to give this wild-ass commentary. Alright, so let's keep drawing and let's darken this part so this flap kind of makes sense. We are not darkening it entirely, we're just giving it a tiny tone. This looks fine. Let's darken his under neck and put a tone over here. Let's draw the rest of the body as much as we can see. There are these folds over here. That's his waistline. That's the end of his jacket. This is where his fly ends of his trouser. That's his foot. You know what? It's this pencil has the same intensity as it has here. It looks kind of silverish, but we'll fix it somehow. I don't know. It's just because of the light. But yeah. Alright, so we're just darkening his trouser part. I think we should do this in a bit. First, let's make it because I don't want to smudge the drawing. Okay, and what if we just try to fix this light a little? Maybe it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. So what I can do is bring this down maybe and turn this what's it called, retouch. Maybe it makes it a little darker. Let me zoom this in so you can see the other hand that I'm making and shift this drawing a little towards this side. Let's make this other fist, right? So to make this other fist, we have already marked the place, the space, and let's start by drawing his thumb first. That's the tricky part, to draw the thumb first, but we'll get to it. It doesn't matter. So that's his thumb. Thumb doesn't look bad. His nail. Right here, this finger is kind of twisting inwards. That's the first knuckle of the first finger. That's the second knuckle of the second finger. Let's bring a line over here. That's the third knuckle of the ring finger. And there is his pinky, right? So basically, this is all the second knuckle, the second joints of this fist, right? Right. That's the pinky. That's the ring finger. That's middle finger somewhere around here, and that is the first finger. Right where the end, let's put a line to define the curve of these knuckles. This looks fine. Let's put the first knuckle in place and join it with the back of his hand. Right, so let's give detail to this part, to the first finger, so that it becomes convincing, and a little line to define the fold of the finger of the thumb, maybe. Yeah. Alright, so that is the first knuckle, that's the second knuckle, that's the third knuckle, and that is the fourth knuckle. We made this fist. Let's put a little shade to define more, give it more sort of a definition thing. Doing that. Just a little amount of shadow. This looks fine. Let's draw the sleeve part. Darken these lines. Let's draw his sleeve, his jacket sleeve. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Alright, that is done. Let me zoom this out a bit. Yeah, so there we have Uji in about 14 minutes. Yeah, so what we haven't done is drawn this part. So let's give this a little drawing. And there is where his other foot would come. So that's one drawing. Let's do another Let's do something else now. Hope everyone's just doing good. All right, we took around like 15 minutes, right, for this drawing. So I'm gonna set the timer to 10 minutes from now on. And uh, the reason is to push myself. So yeah, let's start. We have all the, I can see the drawing now. Okay. Most of the times I'm drawing and I can't even see what I'm drawing. So the reason is, all right, let's draw something else. How about Goku? Goku. How about Goku? Wait, we don't have any viewers now, so we'll just keep drawing. It's all right. To draw Goku, we will draw his hair first. That is the first mad hair part. I hope you can see the drawing. Let me zoom this in a bit and bring this drawing a little. What I can do is draw with a darker pencil maybe. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Drawing the first hair part. That's the second. That's the third. Let me just fix the camera a little. All right, this looks fine. Let me put the curve. That's the hair at the back. Right. This whole part is black. We're not going to do that. We don't have time for that. And we're doing this mad hair. Let's put his front hair somewhere this point. And these. I wonder what is with these all anime artists that they make their hair so crazy, man. Like there has to be some kind of madness to it. Always. All right, this looks fine. Let's do his eye. A thick stroke here, a thick stroke there. A thick line here, a thick line here. Tiny nudge for the nose. A little line for his upper lip. A thicker line for his lower lip. Let's do the face. And cut it over here. Let's make it sharp. And bring it up. And put his ear in place. Let's give him his eyeballs. Ta-da! Looks kind of angry, which is fine. And yeah, this detail comes till about here. This goes about here. Everything else is dark. We don't want to do that. So let's draw his body, because I'm more interested in doing the figure rather than the face. I mean, like, you could do the face, right? So to draw his body, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a line over here and apply a line over here. This will define his neck. This line will define his shoulder. This line will define his other shoulder, right? Let's bring this line and down here and make a V sort of a thing. This V looks fine. Let's darken this if it looks fine. Let's create these lines to define those folds in his clothes. These lines will define the folds. Let's draw his sleeve, half sleeve. Over here we are going to have his bicep, and that's his shoulder. That's his part of his elbow. That's his arm, and that's his fist. So again, we just mark it with a block for now for his fist. We'll come to the detail in a bit. I hope you can see the drawing. Let's bring this drawing down, this line down. Let's put a line to define his waist. Let's put a line to define the end of his abdomen. Let's put a line to define this part of his sleeve. That's his bicep, that's his elbow. I hope you can see it. Let me zoom this out just a tiny bit. So, all right, make his other arm should end about here. So we are drawing that part, no details, no pressure. His wristband and his other hand, that's his thumb, and no detail required, just a little gesture. All right, let's make his belt. Just a tiny stroke here. We're just blocking everything out at this point, no detailing required. This is where his trouser ends, the fly, and spot of his foot, kind of a bulky foot. Folds, 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 more folds. Does this look alright? Yeah, proportionately it looks alright. If I bring this foot a little longer, now it looks fine. So let's put his shoe in place. This is somewhere around here. Let's make his other foot. Let's darken this part. Put folds here. That is his knee. We got to have a darker part over here, so we're drawing that. All right, so let's give him some muscles, right? Because he looks too blocky, so we'll make this line darker, give him a line over his chest, make this shirt look little defined, give dark, make these looks dark. Let's give this little more folds. Little folds over here. Oops. See, it's a 9B. It chips off real easily. Alright, let's draw something else now. We have made this in about, I think, 6 minutes. No, sorry, 8 minutes. Yeah. Let's draw something else. Let me stop this timer. Cancel. Do we have any requests? We don't have any requests, right? So I'll just keep on drawing whatever I feel like until somebody throws a request at me. I am thinking to draw. I'll tell you what I'm thinking to draw. Just a second. Let me find a nice page, clean page. Just a second. Alright, we can draw on this page. I was thinking to draw Luffy. We can draw Luffy, right? We can also draw Ackerman. Let's draw Ackerman. He looks fun. So we are doing Levi Ackerman from Attack of Titans, and I'm going to do it with the charcoal pencil. I'm just looking for the darkest pencil that I have somewhere around here, and I'll find it, because usually I found it. Alright, let's do this. We are trying to do Ackerman. Let me write it here. So that's his head. Head in here and stuff, texture. This is where his ear should come. So let's draw a tiny bit of detail inside his ear. His lower jaw. Right, so let's give this part more detail.
And let's make this spot way darker than the other side, and bring this up to front till about here. And let's give his head a little more roundness from the back. Alright, let's do his eyes. Since it's got a blunt point right now, it's very difficult to make sharper lines, but whatever. We will blend this, don't worry. Alright, let's give him his other eye. Right, to make it more interesting, let's blend some part so we can do more detail, right? So just blending this as a tone and blending this as a tone so that it gets all the right shades on his face, sort of a shadowy drawing. And if it looks unfinished or the eyes are squinty or anything, don't worry, we'll come and do everything in detail. I forgot to put the timer. Alright, now the timer's on. So, what's up guys who are watching? Please leave a text. And don't forget to like the drawing. Alright, let's draw the rest of his body because our focus is on the action. So let's give him a little action. That's his shirt. And the robe is kind of crazy, so let's draw the robe first before moving any further below. So that's the back of his robe wrapped around his neck. That means you got to make this part darker. So we make this darker, but we'll try to give this dark part a little direction in our strokes, so that it forms a little movement. There is a little movement and the sense of direction in the folds of his robe or wheel or the whatever we call it. It's going upward like this. Let's give it a little definition by drawing these lines and darkening some part of it and giving it these lines to define the movement. Just a second, I'm sorry. See, this is what happens if I don't check what I'm drawing, if it's on the screen or not. Let's darken this part, darken this part. And let's bring this wheel fabric swirling backwards. It's attached to this button over here. And there are these dark folds where they are attached. So I'm going to make this darker. This darker. It kind of looks stupid if the intensity, all the intensity looks same. So that's the issue with this drawing at this point, because everything looks of the same intensity, but don't worry, we'll fix it. So yeah, this looks promising. Let's come down. Hope you can see the drawing. Yeah, you can. So let's make his shirt. and his hand, which is coming somewhere around here. Let me zoom this out if I can. Yeah. All right. So this is his elbow. This is his upper arm, and that is where his elbow is placed. And so, all right, there are no messages, so let's keep drawing. Drawing these folds over his sleeve part, his hand. Right, let's draw his hand. He's holding this, his weapon. So we're supposed to have this kind of a feeling of a hold, a grip over his weapon. And since you're not going to do a lot of detailing, let's darken this to describe. There's sort of a shadow over here. And there's his weapon in his hand. Right. There's his mechanical thing going on. It's kind of a strap to this part. Whatever this thing is called, I have no idea, but just drawing it. Alright, let's draw the sword. And let's draw the rest of his body. I don't have many viewers, so we just quickly wrap this up after this drawing. There's this fabric that's wrapped around his waist. There's his belt. And there's his foot. His trouser. And these belts strapped on his thigh. Strapped on his thigh. There is this other weapon of his, and we have his other hand over here somewhere. So let's draw a tiny bit of his hand. He's also holding something, so let's just draw this bit. Oh, it's another sword, right? So let's give him another sword. This will do. Do the foot part, the thigh, and there's this belt. There's his knee, and the foot going backwards, foreshortening. That's his other knee, and there's his other foot, which is in foreshortening. So yeah, we have made Levi in about 8 minutes. Ta-da! Alright, I don't want to do more detail, and if there are any requests, let me know. Otherwise, I'll end this session because we've been about live for 34 minutes and I don't see any requests. So let's end this session for now. And maybe I can show you some other drawings that I've made earlier. These are the drawings that we keep on drawing in these sessions. I have a fun drawing, which is this. I really like this drawing. Ta-da! Sort of an action figure. I kind of made it with the watercolors and stuff. Alright, so let me show you some more drawings. Mad drawing. This I recently did. I still had to do more work on this one, but I didn't. I was thinking to retouch this sometime again, but I didn't. Also, we have this drawing. This is also incomplete that we have to finish. And these drawings. So yeah, I think we are done with this session, and I will see you again tomorrow at the same time. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you for being here.